Hey guys, Joost over at Rhino Adventure Gear. Super excited to show you guys our setup. We're out here in Colorado. I know a lot of folks have asked us, whether it's online or in the shop, kind of what we roll with. I'm going to go over kind of high level stuff with you guys in terms of our truck. And I'll also go over our trailer. Trailer is really what was the inspiration of Rhino Adventure Gear and us getting out is something I built a number of years ago. So again, we got a family of five. Right now I've got a here 7, 5, and 3-year-old. They're only getting bigger, so we're constantly updating our setup. But we'll go over the Land Cruiser, the 200 series, the setup, the tent, the awning, kind of how we work out of the back, some of the electrical stuff, and then we'll kick over to the trailer as well and just show you guys that for folks that might want to build their own trailer as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. All right, guys. So here we've got the 200 series Land Cruiser. This is a 2009. We bought this maybe about 5 or 6 years ago when we knew our family was getting a little bigger. We were running a 2010 Tacoma, which we loved, but kind of wanted to go with a venerable, tried and true Land Cruiser. So we picked this one up, used. And started building it. Frankly, when we picked it up, it kind of looked like a Highlander or a minivan. I'd like to think it looks a little different than that now. But again, 2009, right now it's got 167,000 miles on it, and it runs pretty strong. I'm gonna go ahead and start from the top and kind of work our way down and go over the rig. Right now we're running one of our Camp King Industries rooftop tent. It's an all aluminum unit. Incredible craftsmanship, really. Everything from the fabric to the hard shell itself, to the mattress, inside fully lined, carpeted, insulated. This particular unit we've got outfitted with, electrical outlets, USB ports, lights, etc. So really, really awesome tent in terms of how quickly it sets up, the ability to have a roof rack on top. Build quality is phenomenal. And it's really kind of a tank of a tent. What I think is really one of the most important things with the tent is the ability to leave stuff into it. Everybody talks about how low profile your tent is. 8 inches or whatever is cool, but if you can't leave your sleeping gear, your pillows, your water bottles, all the stuff that we need with our kids, it's just not going to work for us. So we found that this unit really, really excels in that. It's not a 4-person tent by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, we're running with a trailer, and so it's an awesome 2-3-person tent without a doubt. On top of that, and we'll show you that in a bit too. We went ahead and mounted up a 330 watt Merlin solar panel, which is really slick. Frankly, a little bit of an overkill. You don't need that much. A 100-watt panel would probably do fine for what we use. But we had all that real estate, and a lot of the Baja trips that we take, we are carrying boards, stand-ups, things like that. And so with partial shade, I figured it'd be good to just kind of utilize all the real estate we have up there for the solar panel. That tent is mounted up to one of the Rhino Rack Pioneer platforms, which is really kind of a tried and true unit of ours that we use at Rhino Adventure Gear. It's so easy to really mount tents onto, auxiliary gear, lighting, etc. And one of the best features about it is its strength to weight ratio, and also that it's completely flat. In the rooftop tent world, flat is good in terms of racks because it really allows you to get creative in terms of the mounting. We've mounted this one up in a semi-custom fashion, totally through bolts. We eliminated the standard mounting brackets that are on this tent normally and flat mounted it for the lowest profile fit, and it's working out really great. What you'll see also on this rack is this RLD shower cube. That's a new thing for us. We've used it here on this trip. We've been on our trip here this is probably day 8 or 9 of 14. It's a great little unit to pop out and either use a restroom, get changed, use a shower pouch, something like that, right? So that sits on the side, real easy fit, and it works great. The big thing you see is the RLD 360 awning, which we introduced back in November. This one is certainly a game changer. I just don't think there's an other awning out there with the size profile of the 360. 360 might be a bit of a misnomer. It obviously isn't a full circle. I think they named it that just to really delineate that it's not a 270. It covers all the way around the back here, a full coverage around the side, and then the front. A lot of people will ask, well, why do you need coverage in the front? Well, as the day moves along, where that shade gets thrown, believe it or not, that front part of the awning does oftentimes throw shade where you would normally not have it. It is a fully freestanding awning. We do have it staked down. We were out here in Colorado, over 10,000 feet up, and we're getting a couple of real strong gusts of wind. But it's a freestanding awning. If you want, you can add some poles, which we've done in the past to really get it firm and sturdy. But this thing it's awesome. So yeah, that's really the roof. We've got a couple of lights up there for camping. A couple of set of Baja dome lights that are switched. We're running red lights and the white lights. Red lights are really nice to just kind of leave on. They don't attract a lot of the insects, things like that. And the white lights work really well when we're really, we need to kind of find our stuff or see, or we're setting up camp. So that's kind of the up top on the roof. Working our way down, again, it's standard Land Cruiser. I guess I'll start here in the front. We went ahead and added an ARB bull bar. We did the full classic look. I kind of felt with the Land Cruiser, this was just the right look for it. Another big thing, believe it or not, this sounds silly, we do a fair amount of trips into Baja. And Baja, you get all sorts of wacky stuff in the road. Cows, horses, whatever. So it does really do a good job of protecting your front end, your radiator, etc. We mounted up a come-up winch, a 12,000 pound winch with their synthetic line, which has got us out of a few issues here and there, which works real well. Remote, both wired and wireless remote, which is handy. We got some of the ARB attachment points, tow hook points. The cruiser is heavy, so we wanted to make sure we got that nice and safe. We added in Baja lights, LP9s up front. Those are just blinding, almost too much. And then we've also got the squadron lights, just for running lights, the fog lights that work well. These are little inserts that SLE sells that were really nice with the LED lights, turn signals, and running lights. So really like that. It really kind of updates the front end of this car. This is an 09, so it's not not as new as some of the newer cruisers, but it does a good job with that, right? Yeah, so that's kind of the front. If we cruise over to the back here, we got the snorkel, Baja Design ditch lights. I've got the little amber covers on them. Don't always use the amber ones. If I don't want to, I pull them off. Yeah, so if we cruise back here, we'll, and again, we've got kind of you'll see kind of a doubled up setup a little bit. But back here, we spent a lot of our time back here, right? So we've outfitted the back, we've pulled the third row seat. We've got 3 car seats in that second seat. We've put in the Goose gear system, single drawer system. This holds all of our cooking supplies, pots, pans, forks, cutlery, whatever that's called. Things like that. That's worked out real well. We use this Argus box up top, strapped down. That's kind of our pantry, our dried food, cereal, canned food, things like that. Down below, we either run a Dometic fridge or an ARB fridge. Right now, we happen to have an ARB up in here. Both units are incredible. On a slide out, and then partner stove on this slide out. This partner stove has been with us for probably 10 plus years. It's tried and true. We've literally never done maintenance on this thing. It's incredible, high altitude. It's a great unit, right? So this is super handy for us back here. We went ahead and added in one of Descent's rear bumpers. Ben over at Descent Off-Road in Northern California, he makes these, and we're nothing short of super pumped about this this rear bumper. It's got kind of what I call a blank canvas here. Kind of different than anything else that we normally see in a bumper. It's kind of just literally a blank canvas. And so we went ahead and added a couple things. Outer limit supply kit on a quick release. A Lifesaver filtered water bottle. Also just an awesome little piece of kit to have. All our water, we could pull water from a river or, you know, lake or whatever, or even our normal, you know, water we'll dump in here before we drink it. So that's strapped on here. We got an axe, we got a shovel from Rhino Rack, we got a set of 4 max tracks on the back, and that's just standard equipment for us. It's super nice to have a place for that. Never really have to think about mounting it. The max tracks, easy to get on and off. Because you know, when you're in trouble, you don't want to be. I don't really want to be climbing around all my, you know, my roof and stuff, getting these things out. I want to be able to pull them off, get them under the tires, and get out. So another fun thing we've done recently, which I just had a lot of fun doing. We're actually 2 things. We added in the Manager 30 Red Arc system. We custom mounted it up here, which is really kind of a slick system right now. I've got about 28 days till flat. That's probably has something to do with that 330 watt panel, 99% charge. But we put it up here, it's out of the way. We flip up the back, it's easy access. The kids really can't get to it and mess around with it too much. That's wired into a 100 amp hour Battleborn lithium battery that's tucked away in one of the Goose gear cubbies. It's totally tucked away. And the actual Manager 30 is mounted on the back side of this, behind the rear seat in front of this unit, right? So it stays nice and cool and can do all its work. It's an incredible system. It's frankly way more than what we need, but wow, it's a lot of fun. In that same spirit, frankly, Chris from our shop and I were talking one day over the radios, and I had this idea of pulling the factory speakers that's part of their 14, 12, 8 speaker system and replacing them just with a set of aftermarket 4-inch speakers, and picked up this JBL unit that's really a marine radio, marine stereo, and mounting that in here. And so this is running off a Bluetooth, off the, you know, lithium-ion battery, and so that's just kind of always on. It's kind of nice to have the stereo here. It's fun. We added some of our lights out here, a red one and a white one also. Super handy at night, getting the kids ready, cooking, etc. These little Baja dome lights really do throw a nice spread without being too piercing. The red ones are really, they're one of my favorites. So yeah, that's kind of the back. That's a big piece of, you know, what we're doing when we're out camping is what happens out here. Again, Ben's descent bumper with this little plate, anything from my computer to the Zargus box, to putting drinks on, whatever, right? Such an awesome bumper. Trasharoo, full-size spare, etc. All right, so we're gonna talk real quick about the suspension, tires, gears. Nothing too crazy, but enough really to get us to places where we want to go, right? Again, we're going with a fan. We're not doing any rock crawling or anything like that, right? We've generally got the trailer. We're set up for touring, long trips. We want the truck to be capable, safe. And so, yeah, so what we did is we went ahead. We've gone through a couple different setups, frankly. Right now, we're on a set of icons that they put together for us. Upper billet control arms by Icon. We've got the Icon 2.5 fully adjustable CD CV setup, which is an incredible unit. The only thing that we've done on this, on the Land Cruiser, it's a little different than most, is we've got a Tundra front end in here, right? And so what that is the Tundras and the Land Cruisers, the 200 series Land Cruisers, basically have an identical front end, with the exception that the Tundra upper control arm and the lower control arm are about an inch or so wider. And so what we did is we went ahead and used Tundra upper control arms, factory Toyota OEM lower control arms, Tundra factory Toyota axle shafts, outer steering links, everything basically from the differential out is a Tundra. And what that's done is it's kind of created better drive angles for the axles, a little bit more travel, and then using a factory Tundra rim, we're able to stuff in these 285 75 by 18-inch rims, which is basically a skinny 35-inch tire. And the reason why that's a little complicated on the 200 series is you got this KDSS canister, kinetic dynamic stabilization system, that the 200s have. Some of the 5th gen 4Runners have it. And this right here really can get in the way of your tire. And you'll see right here, we're at full turn. And believe it or not, no matter how flexed out we get this front end, this tire will not hit this KDSS canister. If you've got a different offset rim, if you got a different size tire, you'll tear this thing apart. So we certainly weren't the ones that figured this out. Some of the guys, some of the awesome 4 members on Mud figured this out and did it way before we did. But it's worked out pretty well for us. So we could get like I said, a skinny 35 effectively on here and run it without any interference. So that's our front end. The rears, again, we're running pretty heavy ARB OME coils to handle all the weight. I think we've got one more level to go if we ever get too much weight. And then the icons fully adjustable back there as well. Underneath you'll see a set of ARB skids, which has saved our hide a few times. Again, this is not exactly a light vehicle. And then everything else is pretty much factory. So it's worked out pretty good. Real quick on the inside, guys, we're running an S-Pod unit, touchscreen display, 8 circuit. We can add another circuit if you want. This has worked out really well for us. What we've done is we've gone ahead and wired a lot of our lighting into our factory switching. So for instance, when I hit our high beams, we get every front light on. That's the LP9, the fog, the ditch, they all turn on, right? You can kind of get creative with some of the S-Pod stuff. Love this system, we do it quite a bit. We've got our ham radio still on. I'm not sure why that's still on. Shows us our voltage. That's actually hooked up to a second battery that's in the hood. That's connected to a BC-DC 1225D red arc unit. That unit is kind of our tried and true dual battery system. If you've watched Shore Dreamers, Chris's 80s series truck, he goes into that a bit, but the red arc unit is the way to go. It's a DC to DC charging system that reads the charge of your second battery. It knows what kind of battery that is. You wire it up that way, and it does a smart, I want to say 3-stage charging cycle, so that your second battery does get a true 99% charge. It doesn't stress your starter battery in a way it doesn't want to get stressed, and it doesn't charge your AGM, lithium ion, or whatever you're running in there in a way it doesn't want to get charged. It does it effectively so that your battery lasts. Real quick under the hood is pretty filthy right now. Again, we're about 1,500 miles into a trip. Factory 200 series, it's a 5.7 liter, same motor that's in the Tundra. It's got a lot of juice. It really helps us out towing the trailer. Again, this guy's not exactly heavy. We've got an ARB single compressor. Honestly, if I were to do it again, I'd go dual compressor, especially with the bigger tires and the trailer. But that thing's hung in there. Not factory locked, but we've got ARB lockers front and rear. Really like the rear locker. We find the front one to be effective, but man, that rear one really does the trick. You can see the Bantam unit. That's an older style Bantam unit we've had in there for quite a while. The newer Bantams look a little bit different. They're a little bit more weather resistant than that one. And we've got the red arc unit sitting back here. Again, this does a tremendous job of charging this battery, which is actually the 3rd battery on this truck. But and we've got a self jump feature where I've got a button in the cab right next to my push start, that if I kill my starter battery, if my kids leave the seat heaters on or a plane or God knows what they're doing, we're not stuck in beautiful Colorado forever. So the self jump is really used here. I do have an Anderson SB50 plug up front that I can hook up a solar panel to this one as well. But I added all this before I did the lithium ion battery in the back. So pretty basic. Engine runs strong. A lot of good horsepower. And I'm going to be totally frank. We can definitely use it.